Hola, beautiful people. Hello from Querétaro, Mexico, in the center of the country, not that far from Ciudad de Mexico. And I have been enjoying some pet sitting. Here's Morgan in the background there. He gave just a smile. Look at him. It's quite warm here. So he's in a little bit of a pant mode right now. But yes, I've been here for soon will be 3 weeks, taking care of two dogs, elder dogs, and one cat. When I accepted this position, it was supposed to be four animals. The owner, the pet parent, is bopping around on the other side of the globe in Europe, and she had another house sitter take in her other elder cat, a vet friend, because he has some conditions that made her a bit nervous, even though I told her, I have experience doing all of that. But he also had a hospital visit right before she left. So it's now only three animals, which is fine. We're having a great time. I did want to go over a few things. If you do decide to become a trusted house sitter member, someone that takes care of animals, some things to make sure you have communications with the pet owner, the humans, because Morgan here, 8 days into our time together, was had to go to the vet. Yes, 8 days in. He's a 12-year-old boy, and Emma, who's around here somewhere, she is 13, and then we have Eartha Kitt, who's 7. But yes, with Morgan, luckily the pet owner was in lots of communication with me. I shared with her 8 days into the sit that his activity was just not the same. He's fresh off of having knee surgery, so he's still in rehab, and which I knew about. All this communication was cleared up well before I came into town, and then we just firmed up more details on his rehab. He was not to visit the pet sitter. He went to doggy daycare. Emma still goes to doggy daycare, but Morgan here, because he's not supposed to be able to be jumping on anything higher than this sofa here. So he had to stay back, which I'm sure also made him a bit sad. And then with his colitis, things flared up. So I shared all this. So it's vital when you do take on a pet sit that you have clear communication with the pet owner about anything unusual. And to me, his inactivity was unusual, as well as he was not eating. So that concerned me. Lots of drinking, but also just not eating the way he was, 7 days into our time together. So with that, she set up a vet visit. I had to take a pet taxi because, as you all know, I travel without a car, and there was no car here left for me. So I had to rely on pet taxi, which she did set up for me across the globe, which was great. Got him to the vet. The vet was an English speaking veterinarian, which was great for me because as I still learn my Espanol, this kind of role is something quite different in terms of like my vocabulary when it comes to animals and, diagnosis and symptoms and things like that. So she was quite great to be able to just clearly use my native language with giving her symptoms. She was familiar with him because it's his regular vet. And so we came home with medications, prescriptions, and just yesterday he was weaned off of all of his medications. And then again, all this time I've been in touch with the pet owner, letting her know about getting her approval because I left with a list of 4 prescriptions, 2 being another additional cost. I was not cleared on that when we had our initial conversation. So luckily, I just told the vet, I don't feel comfortable buying these medications. I will make sure it's okay with the owner, which I'm sure it would have been. I would have made the decision right away, but again, they're not my pets. and she did leave a stipend of funds in pesos for me to pay for just different incidentals. So, but at the same time, I still felt better about getting her approval, leaving with these medications. So, needless to say, I had to return to the vet's office the next day to get all of the medication. Luckily, they're walking distance. We did have to take a DD taxi back, which was fine. But for me going, it was not a problem. Just walking a quick walk, well, not really quick, like 20 minutes walk to the vet to pick up the meds, and then to a real pharmacy, a people pharmacy, to pick up the other prescriptions. So he's doing much better now as he's napping. They do nap a lot. When you decide to take a pet sit with elder pets, do know that they do love their walks, but other than that, they are pretty sedentary. They drink, they have access to the backyard to do pee and poop whenever they like. They do get a short walk twice a day, maybe 3 times a day, based on the pet owner's requirements. So, but just a few things I wanted to clear up and just make you aware of if you decide to take on a pet sit. Do be ready for emergencies. This sit changed my plans initially. And not just initially, but just from this point forward. The pet owner received a diagnosis that he will need further another procedure besides just our vet visit. And she has cut her trip short, which in turn has made my travel short. So I'm glad that I did go ahead and buy flexible flight plans. Without that, I would have had to put out a little bit extra money to change my flight. Now, granted, she was very helpful and understanding of the circumstances, and decided that she would like to have a staycation in her town of Querétaro. However, with me still being with the pets, I felt it was best that I move on to my next destination and she returned home. So we agreed with a week of wiggle room for her to, because she had to cut her trip short. Probably had some big plans there, as I had some big plans here in Querétaro. It's a beautiful city if you ever get a chance to visit. The architecture is just lovely, known for their colonial style buildings and such, and architecture. I was able to go to one of the archaeological zones, to see a pyramid, El Cerrito, which is walking distance, which is great. All of like $3 admission in pesos, or not pesos, that's the US dollars, $3 in US dollars. But yes, so this house sit is going to be cut short. It was to be 6 weeks, but it will turn out to be 4. With that additional week that we agreed that she will be in town. She will stay at an Airbnb or hotel. I'm not quite sure what she decided, and I will remain in her home to give her some opportunity to kind of ease back into life in Mexico and to still feel like she's got a little bit of vacation. So with that said, I needed to find accommodation sooner than I'd like at my next location, which was fine, because I'm looking forward to that location. But it was a little stressful because having that conversation over the phone and WhatsApp messages, voicemail messages, text messages, to make sure she feels okay about my decision. I just don't think it's necessary that I remain here. And also understanding that she would like to continue with her vacation and still get some things done that she may have had planned all along. So we agreed to a date, and which is fine. But I wanted to just bring to your attention, if you ever do decide to do a pet sit, particularly one that is lengthier with elder dogs or any dogs or cats, any animal that may have preconditions that may flare up when their owners are away. Even the vet mentioned that he could simply have also just been stressed because she's not here, because it happened so soon, just 8 days into the pet sit, when he decided to stop eating. But definitely keep a positive mind, an open mind when things change in your pet sit. I have a backup plan. My backup plan, I already had that in place. It was just a matter of securing lodging at my next location, and I had to change my flight information. And I also had to, think about, okay, yes, now I have less days, less weeks to enjoy this city here. The whole reason to do this house sit right is to travel, enjoy areas, cities that you would like to visit for short term, long term. Again, this was to be 6 weeks. So in my mind, I thought, oh, I have plenty of time to see Querétaro. I can go to a museum a week, and just walk downtown, El Centro, and enjoy. But now that will be cut short. So just keep some flexibility with you when you do decide to join this world of trusted house sitters. It is still a great platform. I have my next two house sits. Oh, my next three. Wow. My next three house sits already set up. So I'm feeling good about that. Soon I will be exiting Mexico because my tourist visa is up soon, but I definitely plan to return because I'm having a great time. As you can see, I'm in a tank. The weather, can't beat it. It was quite warm when I arrived here, so that could have been another reason why he took a spell for the worst, because it's warmer than usual in this part of the country from what I've read. But he's on the other side of recovery. We're going to have some great time in the next week and a half that I have with him, or less than that, actually. Less than that. I forget, less than that. But thank you so much for listening to me. Join me on this journey of digital nomad living, where I have another exciting experience coming up in another country. So stay tuned to what that country may be, if that's near Mexico or if that's in another region of the country. And also some career ventures that I'm throwing out there to see if they stick, which I'm a pretty determined person, so they will stick. It's just a matter of getting through all the training. So goodbye for now, and I will see you all soon. Adios.